In today's video, I am going to be reviewing the latest release from Jo Malone called Red Hibiscus. So if you want to find out more, then please keep on watching. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it's the first time you're visiting. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Hayley and I review fragrances. So as I already mentioned in the intro, today's video is going to be all about the newest release from Jo Malone. Now this is called Red Hibiscus Cologne Intense. And I believe this was limited edition back in 2021 and they have now put it in the permanent collection. I might be wrong with that, but there was a fragrance called Red Hibiscus back in 2021 in different packaging. But this has just launched in this packaging and I'm excited to bring you this review today. I have tried this twice now on my skin so I could get an idea of the longevity, how it projects, how it opens versus how it dries down. So I guess let's get straight into the fragrance. Now, this is in the Jo Malone Cologne Intense lineup. So they are stronger than their signature or their original collection, which comes in the white bottles. If you think about some of their iconic fragrances like English Pear and Freesia or Wood, Sage and Sea Salt, they come in the white bottles, whereas their darker bottles are Cologne Intense. So they are stronger. So what are the notes of Red Hibiscus Cologne Intense? So I've got them on my phone here, so I will read them out. It opens with mandarin orange, and then in the mid you have jasmine, ylang ylang, hibiscus, and vanilla. Sounds wonderful to me. It sounds like a perfect spring/summer fragrance. Now, I hadn't had the pleasure of trying Red Hibiscus in the limited collection, so I can't compare the two, but I can give you my view on how this one smells. So let me start by spraying it on my hand so we can have a fresh test. Nice mister. Can smell it in the air. I'll save it. This is such a beautifully sweet jasmine fragrance. That jasmine to me smells ultra realistic and creamy. You get that burst of mandarin orange and it's really, really juicy, almost mouth-wateringly juicy. But it also has a creamy vanilla note, which when you combine that with the mandarin, it almost gives this milky orange popsicle vibe to it. Really, really delicious. I get a lot of the jasmine. The jasmine is something that I get from the first initial spray. And I do get that tropical ylang ylang, the yellow florals. I'm not quite 100% what hibiscus smells like. I have a hibiscus mahajad, but I've never smelt a fresh hibiscus, have I? I'm not sure, but it's said to be very floral and tropical too. Now, this is definitely a floral fragrance. The florals are front stage and center, but that mandarin and that vanilla gives this a really creamy sweetness. I would say this has a very traditional feel to it in terms of it does smell like a perfume. And I say that because there's been a big trend of gourmand fragrances recently, and there are many people out there that just don't care for gourmands. They want something that actually smells like a perfume, and I will say this one is so incredibly done. The jasmine is so ultra realistic to my nose. It's not indolic in any way. It's creamy and fresh and just beautiful. I would say the jasmine is more prominent than the ylang ylang. I do get the ylang ylang, but it's not front stage and center. You do get a slight kind of waxy tropical feel from this composition, but it's not overbearing in any way. Now, the mandarin note doesn't stick around after about 1 hour for me. You definitely still get a slight fruity sweetness, but you don't get that really juicy mandarin note as this starts to dry down. You do get the vanilla, however, which when combined with the florals, specifically the jasmine and the ylang ylang, creates such a creamy tropical floral composition. I think this is a really, really pretty fragrance. And when I first sprayed this one, It initially took me back to Tom Ford's Jasmine Rouge. Now, I find Tom Ford's Jasmine Rouge quite heady on the jasmine, quite indolic. It has that slight feeling of Jasmine Rouge, but I would say this one is sweeter and creamier. And that is just to give you a reference point to what I think this smells a little bit similar to. Another fragrance that it has a similar vibe to, but not quite the same, is Erin's Hibiscus Palm. I would say that one is more beachy, more tropical, and you get a lot more like frangipani and milkiness from Hibiscus Palm. But again, if you like either Jasmine Rouge or Hibiscus Palm, I really think you will like this one. But this has a beautiful creamy sweetness to it. I love the vanilla too. It's such an elegant fragrance, very, very timeless. I think this one will be very popular. I feel like this would suit any type of occasion. You could wear it for a formal occasion, but you could also wear this one to work. It's very feminine in my opinion, pretty as I've already mentioned. Now, in terms of the longevity, I personally get about 6 to 7 hours wear from this one. Now, this is a cologne intense, as I've already mentioned, and this collection typically has better longevity than some of the other Jo Malone fragrances. Now, this isn't necessarily a loud in-your-face scent, but the jasmine is quite strong to my nose and it projects beautifully and leaves this gorgeous scent trail. But I would say it's about medium in terms of projection. It's not super loud, and then after about 3 to 4 hours, it sits a little bit closer to the skin. This is a fragrance that you can wear all year round, but I will be reaching for this quite a lot in spring. I think this would make an amazing date night fragrance. It's very sensual, and I think men will also love to smell this on a woman. Just my view on it and how men typically react to floral fragrances, specifically white florals with vanilla. It's not my favorite from their collection. My favorites would still be Velvet Rose and Oud. Absolute classic. I need to re-add that one to my collection. Myrrh and Tonka, incredible, incredible, incredible fragrance. And one I smelled recently, Golden Vetiver and Vanilla, absolutely adore that one too. But I really, really do like this fragrance. I can't wait to play around with it a little bit more. Have you smelt Red Hibiscus yet by Jo Malone? Let me know down in the comments. And if you haven't, are you interested in this new launch? Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure as always. I hope to see you in a future video to come. Thank you so much and goodbye.